This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal. Now, there are very, very few times that I am completely, how should I say, blown away by a game. I'm going to give you a little history on this. First of all, I've always liked Renegade games. One of my favorite things to do was when I would go to Gen Con or Origins a few years ago when everything was back normal, I used to do the interviews for Board Game Geek during the conventions. And, you know, I would have my slot, and my slot always had Renegade games. And when Terry would come and show off their wares, I was always impressed with how good this company was. And I've always liked them a lot. Well, I really wanted to check out my father's work. It really had an interesting premise. And I got it in here, and oh my God, that's all I'm going to say for now. Let's go down to the table. And then when I come back, I'm going to expand on this a little bit and how I feel about it and what I think about it. So without further ado, why don't we go down and just take a look. I'm not going to explain the rules or anything like that because then I would spoil everything. But I want to show you some of the components. I want to talk about some of the things that goes on with this. And then I want to come back and I really want to talk about this fantastic experience that I've had nothing but. So I'm not going to explain the rules because there's like 9,000 videos out there that explain the rules. But what I really want to do is I want to talk about some of the stuff that goes on here. And just like everybody else, the quality of these components are absolutely ridiculous. This is off the chart. From the game trays, which seems to be a new trend. That this company Game Trays is just making some fantastic options for companies to utilize and put into your games. And of course, you know, a great company like Renegade is going to take advantage of that. Now, this game uses an app. I'm not going to show you the app because I don't want to ruin anything. And I really don't want to ruin anything because this game is just absolutely full of twists and turns that I really feel that you need to discover it yourself. You have to go pick up this game. The other thing here is this beautiful. The Cost of Disease is going to be the first section, and there's going to be 8 different endings to it. So what I want to do is just I'm going to spin this around here and just kind of show you that it is a work replacement game at heart. Now, the components, like I was saying, are absolutely ridiculous. And to kind of show you what's going on here, I mean, from the bottles that everybody talks about, I mean, which is just really, 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 really smart and great. Metal coins, the metal gears, the beautiful wooden bodies in the coffins, of course. You know, fantastic quality. And what that does is help brings the theme in here. It really does, because you're going to be trying to get these ingredients so you can complete your experiments. Now, also in here are some of the most beautiful miniatures. And listen, guys, you know that I paint and I love to paint, but I'm telling you right now, if I can ever get this open, and of course we're not going to edit that out because it just wouldn't be natural. These miniatures, you guys know I paint everything, but for the first time in a long time, I am not going to paint these. And I'll tell you why. Because the wash over them really gives that Victorian type of Gothic kind of feel to it. And I don't think adding paint adds anything to this. And that just goes to show you how smart and intelligent Renegade Games is to put this out and have this with the wash over it. I really think it adds to it. I think it doesn't detract from it. And it is another one of those just fantastic things. You're going to get tons of tokens and bases that you're going to put these guys under so you can tell who you're going to be using. The quality of the tokens are ridiculous and just absolutely gorgeous. And the miniatures are great as well. I want to show you inside the box because you are going to have 3 of these hidden boxes here. And I'm just going to pick this up a little bit so you can see. Your first scenario is going to be the cost of disease. The second, fear of the unknown, and then a time of war, which, let me tell you something, this is just absolutely glorious. Each player is going to get a chart, and I mean a player mat here. And again, this is just absolutely, the quality is ridiculous. The other thing I really like about this board is that it snaps together and it goes back to, you know, it's not folding it up and stuff like that. I kind of like this kind of new feel to it. You're going to be playing this game in generations. And what's going to happen is there's going to be 3 generations, which is basically 3 rounds. Okay, you are going to draw some cards. You're going to draw cards from the A, B, and C deck here. A, B, C, as you can see. Okay, activate any start of generation abilities. Now, when you're going through the app, it's going to have different rules that are going to do different things. I'm not going to ruin it for you. You're going to have your figures here in the quarters, okay, and then you're going to start a round. You're going to gain $3. You're going to draw a card from any of the available stacks. Now, you also are going to be trying to upgrade your mansion, okay, and there's going to be a cost sometimes depending on where you put things. So they're going to do different things for you. You're going to be causing this creepy chart to move and this angry mob token to move. And if they ever meet together, well, that doesn't bode well. Again, you are going to take actions in a clockwise order, and you are going to basically be placing things, trying to get ingredients, or doing certain things that are going to help you in your strategy to get the most victory points as possible. Once you do that, once you've placed all your pieces or passed, you're going to end the round. Any servants on the insanity track, which is a whole thing unto itself, because if you go insane, which all mad scientists do, it's usually not good. And some state actions will cause you to lose those servants. You're going to return all your pieces to your quarters. Remember, I told you right here, over to your quarters. You're going to pass the start player token, and you're going to discard the bottom 2 upgrades and slide them down. So these upgrades are going to be here, and then you are going to discard 2, and then you'll slide them down and add 2 more for that current generation. You're trying to get the most victory points, and whoever gets the most victory points wins. But the app throws a lot of surprises in there. There are usually in each story mode, there are 8 different types of endings that can happen, which is really, really good, and it shows that it has a ton of replayability. You may get used to certain things, but I don't think this gets old. I think this is just another great smart game created by T.C. Petty III, who really hits home and builds that theme of that mad scientist as you go through different generations. It's just very, 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 very smart and very well done. You're going to be trying to complete certain types of experiments, and they're going to have different things that are going to give you certain types of victory points. And you on the outside here, as you can see, you are going to just keep on building victory points. There are maybe things that happen that you have to vote on as a group, and you'll keep it hidden, and you'll either be nay or you can be yay. And that'll play into it. So it's a really smart and very intuitive type of work replacement, and I love work replacement games, and this for me is just a great game. Generations will end, and you'll be able to keep an experiment in your hand. You'll store one completed experiment under your journal. Okay, so that'll be right over here, which is cool because it just goes right underneath, which is just glorious. And then what you're going to do at the start of the third generation, you're going to replace all these with the third generation tiles, which are going to up everything. You're going to play until the end of the third generation, and then whoever has the most victory points wins. Now, I want to come up and I really want to talk about this game and really hit home on how I feel about this. So, without further ado, why don't we head on top and talk about it? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, wow. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is my personal opinion. For me, this is one of those that has to be considered a contender for Game of the Year. And there have been a lot of games that have just been absolutely fantastic. You guys know I'm a miniature guy, so when I don't want to paint something because it's done so smart and it's put together so beautifully that it adds this incredible feel to it. And isn't that when you're playing something like this, you know, when you kind of have that Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein kind of feel to it, that gothic kind of feel to it, and when the components add and give you this incredible feel to it, that's a company that gets it. Okay, that is a designer that gets it. And let me tell you about Renegade Games. Okay, Sarah Erickson and Scott Gata, probably two of the smarter people in this business. You look at the games that they come out with, Power Rangers, which you're going to see on this channel, because I'm going to be painting this up because one of the things I really want to do, and I brought this out specifically, and I played this before. This one's wrapped up, and I am going to paint this up, and we're going to do a live playthrough, and then this is going up to my grandson for his birthday because he's a huge Power Ranger fan. And it's a great game. But what they've been doing, you know, with the G.I. Joe stuff, you know, the deck builder, the G.I. Joe deck builder, now a G.I. Joe miniature game. Count me in, okay? Just smart, good, solid business from a great company. They are a great company. They don't get caught up in a bunch of junk. They just put out great stuff, and they are smart. And I've had a chance to meet Sarah through Board Game Geek, and what a tremendous and smart and intelligent person who just gets it. They get it. They bring games to you for fun. You're playing games because they are fun, and their catalog is fantastic. And adding this in, and I'm telling you, this here, I put this in my Gen Con, you know, top games to go try to get from Renegade. You know, if you're at Gen Con, definitely go get your hands on this. Okay, they do all the things right. Now, some people were saying, well, the app was a little late. Well, yeah, the app was a little late because they wanted to make sure it was right. Okay, you don't rush and put something out. Okay, the game got here from China, got into all the backers' hands, and now you have a chance to go get it at Gen Con and try this fantastic experience out and enjoy this. This is a great game. I really love this, and you guys know that I'm a miniature guy, you know, dungeon crawl type of guy. I do love my Euros to a degree, but they're not the highest thing on my list. But you give me a good, solid work replacement game with a lot of theme, and I get sucked into it like I have with this. And you know I'm not an app guy either, but this app works perfectly with this because it tells the story. It doesn't take away from the gameplay. It doesn't distract you. Okay, you're not focused on the app instead of the game. You are listening to what needs to be done. It builds the theme, and then boom, you're off to work here. And this, my friends, is what makes smart designing and a smart thematic fantastic work replace game. I love it. Okay, and in my mind, this is up for Game of the Year this year, along with a couple other games. For me, in my world, I have to put it there. I have to put it there because I'm completely blown away and love this. I suggest you, if you're going to Gen Con, please check it out. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. My father's work, another great experience from our very good friends at Renegade Games. They just get it right, and they always will. So I don't remember a bad game they have ever made. Everything I've ever played has been fantastic. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.